I swear I was going to make a video in the last couple of days before the market, I'm talking about stock market, turned down overnight. Obviously in the US it's gone down close to 3%. In Europe, DAX, I think German, has dropped substantially. Yes, we had a kind of bounce into June, just as predicted by some people. One of those, Martin Armstrong, obviously, he had on his public blog a link to a podcast he did, and he called a bounce into June, and then it turned down from July and onwards. I don't know for how long. I also saw an interview with Charles Nenner on usawatchdog.com with Greg Hunter. Charles Nenner is a bit of a character. I don't know what to think of him, but he's into his cycles, and he called it this as a temporary top, being I think he said third week of June, which is what we're in right now. He said he's seeing the peak. I'm going to post those links in the description below so you can check it out yourself. And there's another one who is not using cycles or technical analysis, seems to be using MMT, monetary money monetary. I don't know what it stands for. It escapes me now. But where he looks at the tax flows, really the fundamentals, the spending of the government, how much money, which is the whole MMT concept, is how much money is being pumped into the actual economy, and then the prices and inventories of oil. He puts it all together, and then he calls it a bull or bear case. He's Mike Norman, that is. I'll link his latest video. He's by nature optimist. He's a bull, and he's turned into a bear for now, because he's seeing his numbers as turning down. So different, some different ways of arriving at the same conclusion gives me some sort of confidence that we are currently going to see a second leg, not just a second leg or second wave of this CV that they pushing down our throats, and Victoria's already done it. Anecdotally, really around here, just like during the first wave back in March, I'm hearing a lot of sirens, a lot of police, and obviously other emergency vehicle sirens, and that is a weird way of me also putting it all together. Now, a quick word on property market. I really haven't been following it. I haven't been looking at the mainstream media like I normally do, like the business, and see what they're saying about it. It can't go, and it shouldn't go up. Honestly, people say, well, what would you do if you need a house to live in and you really want to buy? What can I say? Just buy it. Even if it pulls back 10, 20, 30, or as I predicted, 40%. Even if that means inflation adjusted in real terms pulls back, what can you do? You think you need a house, makes you feel good, your family's happy. Why not just buy it? I do have to say that, as you probably all realize, the rents have pulled back. There are some bargains. I know some people very close to me who are moving into a 3.5 bedroom, really large townhouse in Northmead near Parramatta here in Sydney. And the rent is unbelievable. When you think about that housing, easily a family of 4 or 5, you think, and it's in this expensive Sydney that we live in, and the market, and that you can get a weekly rent for, get this, $500 a week is insane. And if you were to buy that, according to the old or existing data that we have on the property market, you'd need, $800,000 to buy, $850. Maybe now it's pulled back to $750. I don't know. We'll find out when the numbers come out as far as what these things are worth. But let's say it's, $800,000 at the moment. So do you want to get yourself into $800,000 or partly loan, and anyway, pay $800,000 for something that's going to return you $500 a week, minus all the expenses that include obviously some sort of strata, because it's not torrent title, all the other expenses and the uncertainty, do you want to hold the bag? But again, if you somehow think that, buying it and you were lucky enough, fortunate enough to keep your job, go ahead, do it. What can I say? You need to do what you need to do, but investing in property, that's never, even during the boom, been my cup of tea. I think it's just slow. There's a lot of overhead. I've talked about it on this channel, but like I said, all of my collection of research from people who use different measurements and different ways, and not everyone can be correct. Even the bulls, or at least one that I know, optimistic person by nature is not seeing the numbers. So for me, that's good enough to position yourself for a downturn. So if you've had some stocks, maybe it's a good time to sell it, and you can short it whichever way you think is best, or if you're just waiting for that entry point, it's probably not best to get in now. Not financial advice, obviously, but that's how I think about it. Do you put your superannuation back into the aggressive mode where you expect the shares to go up? I would not. I'd keep it in cash type thing or defensive investments, and weather the storm for the next few months at least, and then we'll see what the signals are. Maybe there'll be some sort of an entry point, and as soon as I see it, I'll call it. I'll just like I'm calling it now. And again, it's not my call. I don't do any research. As I always mention, I have a day job. So, but I do wish everybody luck. I once again will post those links. They're very, very interesting. A lot of kind of data to go through, but they're all pretty much videos or podcasts where you can very quickly gauge. I mean, where else do you go for the source of information? I do have another paid subscription from a local guy here in, I think he's in Melbourne. So, he talks about stocks and he has his opinion, sends a couple of emails a week, and then monthly issues with some recommendations on particular stocks and that sort of stuff. That gives me a little bit of information. Has he always been right? I don't know. Has he been right more than wrong? I don't even know that, but it gives me some sort of voice to listen to, because you can't just turn on the TV, CNBC in the US, or the business shows here. The talking heads on TV will tell you one thing or the other. You honestly can't trust anyone, and you shouldn't. It's not any different from any other time. I'm sure there's always been propaganda. People have talked their own book on TV. They tend to be more positive and optimistic than negative. They're not going to call a downturn, because downturn doesn't help anyone. If you're a broker, there'll be less buying and selling. If you're a government, you will not want to tell people that the market's going down, whatever it is. If you're a central bank, you don't want to be the one who breaks the bad news about the economy and predicts something bad, and then something bad happens, and then you are blamed for that something happening as the instigator of this. The cycles, I believe, go their ways no matter what someone says. I mean, we've started to have bad news about this second wave of the CV, and the market just kept going up or creeping up slightly in the last few weeks. And you think, hang on, why has it chosen today to turn around and to listen to these fundamentals? Yes, it is getting a bit worse, but when Victoria announced the tightening of the measures for the CV contagion, the market kept going up. So it didn't care about it until it cares about it. So it seems to care about it now, but I don't think it has to care about anything. It's just the energy behind the markets, the volume, and other things that people look at, which are way over my head, but I can just listen to other people, put it together, and make a decision and stand behind it. At some stage, if you're not correct in your assessment by listening to others, you have to recognize it as well and cut your losses. But at this stage, that's where we stand. That'll do for now. Have a good day, and we'll stay in touch. Thanks again. Take care. Be well.